What is up, everybody? I am Lxgend, and here are my 5 reasons why iPad Pro music production is the future of making music. Let's go. So we are going to go ahead and jump right into this. Reason number 1 is going to be portability. For those of you who have never held an iPad Pro in your hands, this thing is incredibly small, incredibly light, and incredibly thin. It only weighs 16.5 ounces, which is basically a pound. This is huge compared to an iPad Pro. And that's not even factoring in the fact that you have to open it up and work like this. So it's literally twice the height when you're using it. But when you compare the size on both of these items, you can literally fit 2 iPads in one MacBook. And that's not even including the screen real estate. You know, once you open it up, the difference is ridiculous. Not to mention, this thing weighs 4 pounds, so that is literally 4 times heavier than an iPad Pro. I am one person who thinks that the future of music production is going to be heavily based on mobility and portability. Can you make music anywhere you want? And is it going to be as powerful as a desktop or a laptop? The answer to that question is actually yes, because number 2, the processing power. This is why I think an iPad Pro is going to be really great for music production. This thing features an A12X Bionic chip, which is running at 2.4 gigahertz, 8 cores in this thing. Now you compare that with my MacBook. My MacBook is a 2.2 gigahertz i7 Intel processor, 6 cores, and that thing is a workhorse. This thing may look small, it may look like it's just a device where you want to watch Netflix on or something like that, but don't let looks deceive you. So this iPad actually outperformed every single 13-inch MacBook and MacBook Pro that is currently out right now, the latest ones. And in terms of how it stacks up against my 15-inch MacBook Pro, which is a pretty powerful machine with 6-core processor, it gets basically the same processing power. It almost matches up to how much power is in this MacBook Pro. So the performance on this A12X Bionic chip is going to be almost as powerful as a legitimate computer. It basically is a computer because this performs a lot better than 13-inch MacBooks. You could spend half the price or a fraction of the price and get one of these and be set. So the third reason why I think the iPad Pro music production is going to be the future of making music is the most obvious feature of them all, which is the touch screen. But the thing is, it's not just because it's a touch screen and you're able to touch your notes and, oh, it's a touch screen. Wow, it's actually a lot more functional than that. I was watching a video that John Morrison did of the iPad Pro and how an engineer was mixing an entire record just in iPad Pro, and he was saying that because he is more old-fashioned, he's more into the tactile touching of knobs and turning actual things and doing things with his hands instead of clicking around on the mouse. It just felt more natural to him to be able to turn the knobs physically with his hands. Like, I mean, the knobs don't literally exist, but in the program, you can just take the stuff, you can slide it up and down with your fingers, turn it up and down like this. And as far as like producers go, there are programs in here that feature full-on drum pads. This thing can turn into a drum pad, it can turn into a keyboard, it can turn into whatever you need it to turn into. And you can use your literal hands to play those things, and I'll show you. I can literally, if I wanted to, this is my drum pad. And it works just fine. And now I have a keyboard. I can get a double keyboard if I want to. I could play a bass line up here and some chords down here. So the fact that I can turn this into whatever I need to turn it into without having to buy a controller or buy a drum pad or carry all of those things around with me to add on more weight to my mobile production studio is A1. That brings me to my next reason why. Number 4 is it is versatile. The iPad Pro is a very versatile tablet in the sense that it's like every other tablet where you can use the screen itself as an instrument, as an input device to play your drums, to play your keys, to play whatever you need to play. At the same time, it's got this USB-C connector. I could easily take a MIDI controller like this, plug it in the back here, and then plug it into my USB-C here, and I would be able to play just like I need to play and just like I would hook up stuff to my regular laptop. And then I just found out, like literally 5 minutes before I started filming this video, that my audio interface works with this thing. So I don't need to go out and buy a special USB-C audio interface that's made for iPads and things like that. I literally hooked up my Focusrite with a USB-C cable straight to here, and I recorded audio directly into Garageband without having to set anything else up. It just worked right out of the box. And the fact that I was able to use my actual condenser microphone, this Bluebird SL right here, to hook up to my audio interface, to hook up to my iPad, it's like unheard of for me. I've never seen that done without having to buy a specific microphone that's made specifically for mobile devices. And then going along with that USB-C connection, which brings me to reason number 5, why I think this iPad Pro is the future. The functionality of it. So once again, you have the touch screen, you have the ability to hook up hardware and things like that. And with the ability to hook up hardware, you have the ability to hook up things like external hard drives. I was making music in GarageBand, I wanted some extra sounds, and I downloaded the iPad OS beta, which allows you to access files on an external hard drive directly into your iPad. Navigated to the Files app, I went into my folder where my little drum kits were, I dragged it and I dropped it on to my iPad, just like I would on a computer. I was able to use every single one of those sounds that I imported into my iPad from my external hard drive to use in my music production software, not having to go through a computer, just directly into the iPad, and it worked so well. So I just wanted to make this video for everybody out there who doesn't have a computer yet, doesn't have a MacBook or even a regular PC laptop or desktop. If you have a really good phone that is capable of making music, I think you're going in the direction that music is currently going right now. If you guys really want to see what the iPad is capable of, you can go check out Henny Tha Bizness, which is a producer that's produced for people like Chris Brown and a bunch of other artists, but he only uses his iPad to make his beats. If you guys are not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, set them to all, so you will be notified every single time I upload a brand new video. As always, stay legendary.